We all have that one game that's considered bad by most people, but for some reason we really enjoy it. For me, that game is I Am Alive. It's far from perfect. It's clunky, the controls aren't great, and for a game made in 2012, it looks terrible. But somehow, I still find myself loving it. What sets I Am Alive apart is its atmosphere. It's the closest you'll ever get to movies like The Road or The Book of Eli. There are no zombies or diseases wiping out humanity. Instead, your biggest enemy is just people. If you enjoy this video, consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 50 subs. The combat in I Am Alive feels more like solving a puzzle than engaging in typical action. Ammo is extremely scarce, so you're forced to plan out every encounter carefully. Instead of charging in, guns blazing, you need to outsmart your enemies and prioritize your resources. It turns every fight into a strategic challenge. One unique aspect of the game is how you can use your gun to threaten enemies, even if you're out of bullets. Just pointing it at someone can make them surrender. It's all about bluffing. But if you take too long, they'll realize you're empty, and that's when things get dangerous. This adds a layer of tension to every standoff. You're constantly on edge, trying to keep control without revealing how vulnerable you really are. Your machete is another crucial tool. You can use it for close combat or surprise attacks, especially when ammo runs dry. Sneaking up on enemies lets you take them out silently, and in some cases, if you kill the toughest enemy, the rest will surrender without a fight. But if you hesitate or make a mistake, they'll attack you in full force. Timing and decision making are key in every battle. Later on, you get a bow, which is great for stealth since arrows can be reused. However, unlike the gun, you can't intimidate enemies with it. It's a silent weapon, perfect for taking out enemies quietly, but you have to be even more strategic about its use. There's no room for mistakes. As you progress, you encounter heavily armored enemies that require precise shots to take down. These enemies ramp up the difficulty, but once you defeat them, you can use their armor for added protection. It's a nice reward for winning those tough encounters. But even with the armor, you're never safe. One wrong move and you're done. Climbing plays a big role in I Am Alive, but it's one of the more frustrating parts of the game. You have a stamina bar that depletes as you climb, and if it runs out, you fall. The idea is to create a sense of urgency, like you're racing against time, but it doesn't quite work. You can always use consumables to restore your stamina, or place hooks to rest mid climb, so you rarely feel like you're ever in danger. Eventually, you unlock a grappling hook, which is supposed to add some variety to the climbing. At first, you use it constantly, and it feels like a cool addition. But then, it almost disappears from the game. You barely use it after the initial unlock, which is a missed opportunity. Overall, climbing just feels repetitive and lacks the tension that the game clearly intended. The game also features a retry system. If you die, you can restart from the last checkpoint, but only if you have retries left. If you run out, you're sent back to the start of the mission, which can be brutal. You can also find retries scattered around the world, or earn them by completing side missions. New missions also start you off with some retries at least. Then there are the dust storms. When you enter a dust storm, your stamina consistently depletes because you can't breathe properly. It's not a huge threat though, because you can drink water or use consumables to restore your stamina. Once you unlock the gas mask, dust storms stop being a problem entirely. It's kind of funny because even before that, drinking water somehow stops you from suffocating on dust. The concept is cool, but the execution isn't really intense or challenging. The story in I'm Alive is pretty simple. There's been a disaster, and you're searching for your family a year after everything fell apart. You make your way to your old apartment, but they're long gone. Along the way, you meet a young girl named May, and from this point on, your goal shifts to helping her and a man named Henry. What I like about the story is the world it sets up. It's brutal. People take from the weak to survive. There's no grand plot twist or deep narrative, but it serves its purpose. You move from one mission to the next, helping these people survive, and it does a good job of showing how desperate everyone is. It's not about saving the world, it's just about getting by day to day. There are a few side missions, and while most are pretty straightforward, like giving someone food or medicine, some stand out. In one, you find two guys who offer you and May some meat, but then you notice a blood trail. Following it leads to a room full of cages where you realize they're butchering people. You have two choices to leave them or to save them. These moments don't happen often, but when they do, they're pretty memorable. Despite its flaws, I really enjoyed I Am Alive. There aren't many post apocalyptic games grounded in realism like this. We've got Fallout, The Last of Us, but I'm Alive does something different. It strips away the sci fi elements and focuses on human survival. For a game made in 2012, it might not look great, but it's a unique experience that I'll always remember. Thanks for watching.